Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Carlos Colon, owner of Georgia Perimeter Homes, and today we're going to be talking about how to pick the best offer for your home. Now, this could be out of 2-3 offers, but in my perfect world scenario, I would love to see 10-20 offers on one home. How do you pick which one's the best one? They all seem to look the same. Well, they're definitely not, and I'm going to show you how I arrange and how I present these to our sellers. So before I get started, if you have not done so already, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. That way you get contacted every time that we release a new video every single week. And hopefully in the middle of this video, you'll like the content and you'll hit that like button. So let's get started. So, you're a seller, you're looking at offers right now, or your agent's about to present them to you. How do you pick the best one? So, we're going to start this with a disclaimer. Everything I'm about to tell you is my personal opinion, okay, as a real estate professional and as a real estate investor. So, with that said, my opinion does not apply towards every scenario and every situation, and it may not be what's best for you. That is why you have agent representation. Speak to your agent, explain your situation, let them advise you, okay? Then make your decision. But in the meantime, this will apply for most cases. So, we're going to pretend like we have 20 offers on the table. Carlos, how do I separate these? I mean, what do you think is best? This was the exact question that was posed to me by so many sellers from about 2019, 2020, all the way to 2022. And even when a great home hits the market, it's still the situation. It's just not as crazy. So let's say you have 3 to 5 offers on a house. I used to call that insane. But realistically, 2009 all the way to 2021, or 2019 all the way to 2021 brought some crazy scenarios where you would see 20, 30, 40, in some cases over 100 offers on one home. Now, luckily, I never got to deal with 100 offers on one home, but I have had several situations where I've dealt with over 30 offers on a house. And in that situation, you have to get very creative on how do you organize it, how do you summarize the information for the seller so that they understand it very clearly. This is where we're going with the video. So, I'm going to start with the step 1 here. Step 1, I want you to print out in black and white. That way, if you're like me and you're paying a nice little printing fee, black and white's always cheaper. So, just because black and white ink is the cheapest. So, print out in black and white every offer on paper. Easiest way to do it, okay? Now, if you're using Georgia Real Estate Commission forms or the GREC forms, or GAR forms rather, the Georgia Real Estate forms, you'll really, there's so many forms in between that are just definitions that you can really omit those. But in most cases, for the sake of this, just go ahead and print all of it out, staple it together, and make sure that you include pre-approvals and everything else with it. Staple it together, put it in a pot, okay? That's where we start, all right? Then what? Next, I want you to arrange these offers by the financing type. There's a reason we do this, okay? So, what do I mean by that? Well, cash. Here's a pile for cash. Next, FHA. Here's a pile for FHA. Next, VA. Here's a pile for VA. Next, conventional. Great, wonderful. Next, USDA. Next, maybe there's hard money or owner financing or something crazy like that. Okay, separate piles for each one. All right. Once you do this, everything's going to start becoming a lot clearer, but we're going to refine it even more. Okay. Now we're going to start by going, what is your preference as far as the basis for what each loan type means? Okay, let me explain. The reason we separated it into different financing types is because each financing type has different requirements for what is automatically needed and what is not. This creates complications in the file that may not be necessary if you went with a different type of financing. You need to understand that right off the top of your head. So which one is the least least complicated? Well, cash, of course. So cash probably should go at, very left side, right? And then you go, okay, well, what's the next least complicated? I'm not going to go into all of these for you, but I'll tell you that, for example, VA. VA will require a termite clearance letter. In some cases, if the appraiser mentions it, he will require a septic clearance letter if you're on septic. In some cases, if you're on well, will require a well clearance letter as well, right? So these are complications for the seller that you may or may not want to deal with. Maybe it's okay for you, maybe it's not. It's up to you. FHA requires PMI, which is not a big deal for you, but it is a big deal if you know that the buyer is tight on money and this is towards the top of their affordability, right, on their loan type. And so maybe interest rates jumping up a point or two in the next 30 days might kick them out for being able to afford this. So maybe you should take that into consideration. But it's completely up to you, because really conventional loans can also have PMI depending on the file. But realistically, if it's a good client for conventional, for example, there's a lot of conventional loans that will not have PMI. Also, conventional loans don't require termite clearance letter. They don't require septic clearance letters, although you can ask for them as part of the negotiation. It's a little bit neater. So I'm going to give you a hypothetical situation. In my perfect world, if I was selling my personal home today, this is my opinion on selling my home, not yours. Cash would be king. Conventional comes in second place. FHA comes in third. Then we've got USDA and VA are kind of equal with each other. And USDA, just so you know, is also very similar to FHA. So maybe it's a little bit in between. So maybe we go FHA, USDA, VA, somewhere around there. And then owner financing and all that goes way down the line. So that would be the order I would want to see them in if I was selling my personal home. And then at that point, everything becomes a lot clearer. Now, once you've done that, now we're going to go into each pile, okay? And we're going to arrange it. So, before I go any further, if you're liking the material that we're talking about today, hit that like button on the video. And if you've not done so already, hit that subscribe button. That way you can see content like this every single week. All right, let's jump in. So we've got the piles that we're going in. How do I arrange those, Carlos? Well, you're going to start with the simplest. Which one brings me the most money to my pocket? That goes on top. Okay, so we're going to look at the base numbers. Okay, offer prices and seller contributions, subtract those out and go, which one's the highest net to my pocket? We could put those on top, and then you work your way down from there. So you go, best deals on top for that particular pile, and it works its way down. Okay, we're going to do that for every single pile. Now we're going to get to the most complex part, terms. Terms are going to be the biggest deal maker or breaker in most contracts. So now we're going to go, you've organized your piles into, this is what I really want to see, to, not so much, the loan types, so to say. And now we're going to go into specific terms within each deal. What am I talking about when I say specific terms? How long is it taking you to close? Number one. Number two, how many days for inspection are you asking for? Number three, are you leaving me any temporary occupancy so I can stay in my home after closing and comfortably move out, or are you wanting possession the day of closing? Number four, in special stipulations for that offer, are you asking me to do anything right off the bat? Or do I feel like this is kind of a bait and switch situation with the way this is changed up, and maybe you're going to ask, and I don't know, but I might want to roll the dice on your offer? Number five, did you even bother sending me a pre-approval for your loan type? Or if you're supposedly offering me a cash loan or a cash deal, did you send me proof of funds that you have the cash? Because guess what? If you didn't send it to me and I contacted you to get it to me and you still didn't get me that evidence or that pre-approval or pre-qualification, whichever one you have, you're probably going to go to the bottom of the pile or have a big fat question mark on it, because I don't know that you can even do what you're claiming you can do on this offer, because you haven't provided the evidence that you can. All right? And then last thing is going to be, are you asking me for financing contingency or a certain number of days where you can be denied for the loan and you get to keep the earnest money? Well, that's not cool. That's not fair to me if I've taken it off the market for so many days. Lastly, appraisal contingency. Do you have an appraisal contingency where if the appraisal doesn't come in for a certain price that you're, basically saying, well, I can walk away if I feel that this home's not worth it and it didn't come up to the price that we agreed upon? Okay, well, fair enough, but I need to know these things on the front side. You're going to arrange these piles now, so you've arranged them by main prices. Now you're going to rearrange them on the basis of terms, okay, and what they mean to you. This is going to give you your best candidate for each loan type within each pile, okay? Now, the last thing you're going to do is you're going to pick your top 3 to 4 offers. They're not always in the cash pile. They're not always in the conventional pile. Sometimes it's, well, this cash is definitely number 1, and if that one doesn't work out, you know what, this FHA really is the best deal over any of those conventional. And then this conventional might be number 3. And now you're going to arrange them that way. Now, this is where we go into the negotiation part of it, okay, on how you deal with the next steps. If you have any questions about that, you need to speak with your real estate agent. However, if I'm selling my home, which is what we're talking about right now, this is what I would do next. I would sit here and call number 1, my number 1, and tell them, willing to accept your offer, I'm going to go ahead and sign. When are you willing to do, when are you looking to do the inspection, right? Or I need to be notified that you received this within the next, couple hours, please. If they're very responsive with me, that tells me it's probably going to be a good situation. But no matter what, let's say that that's going well, I sign it, we go into contract. That very day, I immediately want to call the other ones anyway, okay? Number 2 and 3, I want to go ahead and call. But number 2, I start with, and I go, listen, here's the situation. There's a stronger offer. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you are number 2 on the list, okay? If for some reason in the next 14 days this does not work out, do you want me to hold yours as number 2? And would you like to sign a binding backup offer? That way nobody else can take it from you. You automatically become first position if this one backs out. I want it signed, okay, in a situation like this. If they say yes, wonderful. If they say no, okay, it doesn't mean they're completely out. That just means they're not willing to sign it. Maybe I go to number 3 if it's good enough and go number 3. Okay, here's the situation. You're definitely not number 1, but you're pretty darn close. Listen, we'd like to sign you as a formal backup. And if you say no to that, I just want you to know we've got stronger offers verbally. But we're giving you the opportunity to sign on paper to become the formal backup. So if anything should happen, you become first position. Okay? This is the part of negotiations that's very, very important. Speak to your agent, like I said, about how best to do this. Okay? And that's why you hire them. That's what they do for a living. So with that said, I hope this helps you to organize the offers that you have on the table. And of course, the nicer the property and the better the price, the more offers you're going to have. But this is one of the best ways that I've found to be able to organize things, and the easiest way to present information so it's clear and understood. And some people are visual, so maybe you'll want to just chart it on an Excel sheet. And that's okay too. I've done that before in the past. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And check out our website if you want to see some beautiful homes, GeorgiaPerimeterHomes.com. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.